The cold metallic corridors of Horizon 9 Starship Academy hummed with a quiet tension that Hyok knew all too well. Every step he took echoed with an uncomfortable silence, his iridescent skin shifting between soft blues and muted greens. A biological response to his emotional state that only made him feel more exposed. Alien transfer students weren't uncommon in this galactic educational hub, but Hyok was different. His species, the Luminara, communicated through intricate neural patterns and light-based signals that most other species found incomprehensible. Where other aliens managed to blend in, Hyok stood out like a flickering hologram in a sea of uniformity. The Academy's main dining hall was a massive circular chamber designed to accommodate hundreds of students from across the galaxy. Sleek, robotic servers glided between tables, delivering nutrient-packed meals tailored to each species' unique biological requirements. Holographic displays flickered with interstellar news, showing recent exploration missions and technological breakthroughs. Hyok's usual spot was a small corner table near the massive transparent viewport. From here, he could watch distant star systems and passing spacecraft while avoiding direct interaction. Today, a massive cargo ship was docking, its intricate maneuvering system a beautiful dance of mechanical precision that momentarily distracted him from his loneliness. Two Centaurian students, reptilian-like beings with metallic scales, laughed loudly, their translator devices converting their clicks and hisses into mocking human language. "Look at the light bug," one said, referencing Hyok's ability to change skin color. "Bet he can't even communicate properly." Hyok's tendrils, delicate sensory appendages that sprouted from behind his ears, trembled slightly, reflecting his inner emotional turmoil. Each color shift was a complex language of emotions that humans and most other species couldn't understand. Right now, they were creating a mesmerizing pattern of blues and soft purples, a mixture of sadness and quiet resilience. A robotic cleaning drone passed near his table, its sensors momentarily scanning Hyok. For a brief second, he felt a strange connection, another misunderstood entity in this vast, complicated universe. The drone's soft blue light seemed to pulse in sympathy, a brief moment of unexpected understanding. The Academy's design was a marvel of interstellar engineering. Curved corridors made of transparent aluminum allowed students to see the vastness of space, while advanced gravitational systems ensured comfortable movement for various species. Holographic interfaces flickered with real-time information about stellar mapping, xenobiology research, and interplanetary communication networks. Hyok's academic performance was exceptional. His neural processing capabilities allowed him to analyze complex scientific data in ways most students couldn't comprehend. Yet this intellectual brilliance only increased his social isolation. Professors were impressed, but his classmates found him intimidating and strange. During practical laboratory sessions, Hyok would sit alone, his sensory tendrils connecting directly with advanced scientific equipment. While other students used traditional interfaces, he could communicate with machines through light and electromagnetic signals, a skill that both amazed and frightened his peers. The vast observation deck became his sanctuary. Here, surrounded by the infinite darkness of space and twinkling stars, Hyok felt most comfortable. Distant planets and mysterious nebulae seemed to understand him better than any living being on the Academy. A small holographic message appeared on his personal communication device, another automated academic notification. No personal messages, no invitations, no connections. Just cold systematic information about upcoming classes and research assignments. The Academy's artificial intelligence system, ARIA, occasionally spoke to him during solo research sessions. Its complex algorithms seemed to recognize something unique in Hyok's communication patterns. Sometimes he wondered if ARIA was his only true friend in this massive educational institution. As evening artificial lighting dimmed, simulating planetary night cycles, Hyok prepared for another solitary night in his compact living quarters. The room was efficiently designed, with adaptive surfaces that could transform based on his emotional and physical needs. Outside his window, a massive exploration vessel slowly drifted past, its intricate design a testament to human engineering and interstellar ambition. Hyok watched, wondering if he would ever find a place where he truly belonged. Little did he know that everything was about to change. Someone was watching him, someone who saw beyond the strange appearance and recognized the extraordinary potential hidden beneath his luminescent skin. End of Part 1. The advanced xenobiology laboratory buzzed with an electric energy of scientific exploration. Holographic displays flickered with complex molecular structures, while robotic assistants moved silently between workstations. Jae-sung stood out among his classmates, not because of his appearance, but because of an almost supernatural ability to notice details others missed. He first spotted Hyok during a routine scanning exercise. While other students quickly categorized and dismissed the alien's unique biological signature, Jae-sung saw something different. The way Hyok's sensory tendrils moved, the subtle color shifts in his skin, it was like watching a living, breathing communication system that no one else understood. The Academy's simulation chamber was a technological marvel. Gravity could be manipulated, atmospheric conditions transformed, and entire planetary environments recreated with breathtaking accuracy. Today's exercise involved studying adaptive biological responses across different galactic environments. Jae-sung's family history was unique. His parents were pioneering xenobiologists who had spent decades studying interspecies communication. They'd always taught him that understanding was more important than categorization. While other students saw aliens as research subjects, Jae-sung saw potential friends waiting to be understood. During a complex molecular mapping exercise, Jae-sung noticed something extraordinary. While other students struggled with traditional scanning methods, Hyok was creating intricate three-dimensional models, using nothing but his neural tendrils and a series of light-based signals. It was like watching a living computer interface. With pure biological precision, the laboratory's AI system, Nova, seemed equally fascinated. Its quantum processors tracked Hyok's movements, attempting to decode the complex communication patterns. Jae-sung watched as most students ignored this remarkable display of alternative intelligence. A massive holographic star map dominated the central chamber, showing current exploration routes and newly discovered planetary systems. Robotic probes flickered in and out of view, representing humanity's expanding reach into the universe. But for Jae-sung, the most interesting exploration was happening right here, with the isolated alien student. During a break, Jae-sung deliberately approached Hyok's workstation. The other students had cleared the area, creating an invisible barrier of isolation. Close up, he could see the intricate patterns of Hyok's skin, a living, breathing communication system more complex than any technology he'd ever seen. Fascinating. Interface, Jae-sung said softly, pointing to Hyok's unique method of data manipulation. Most would have seen this as an awkward attempt at conversation, but for Hyok, it was something entirely different. The Academy's advanced translation systems struggled to interpret the response. Hyok's tendrils flickered in a complex pattern of blues, greens, and soft purples, a language more nuanced than any spoken words. Jae-sung realized he was witnessing something extraordinary. A sudden alarm interrupted the moment, a simulation. Malfunction caused the chamber's environmental controls to fluctuate. Most students panicked, but Hyok's response was different. His tendrils began rapidly scanning the room, calculating potential solutions faster than the chamber's primary computer system. Jae-sung watched in amazement as Hyok subtly adjusted his own biological systems, creating a stabilizing frequency that began to calm the malfunctioning equipment. It was a display of biological intelligence that defied everything Jae-sung had been taught about interspecies capabilities. The Academy's chief researcher, Dr. Kim, approached cautiously. She had noticed Jae-sung's interest and saw something in the young student that reminded her of pioneering xenobiologists from decades past. "Some beings communicate differently," she whispered, "but that doesn't make their language any less valuable." As the simulation chamber returned to normal, Jae-sung made a decision. He would bridge the gap that separated Hyok from the rest of the Academy. It wouldn't be easy, but something deep inside told him this was more than just a scientific curiosity. This was a potential friendship that could change everything. The massive windows of the laboratory revealed the infinite darkness of space, a reminder that true understanding often requires looking beyond what's immediately visible. End of E. Part 2, the Advanced Research Presentation Chamber, hummed with anticipation. Holographic displays flickered with complex data streams, while students from dozens of different planetary systems prepared for their most critical academic evaluation of the year. HFY stood alone at the central platform, his sensory tendrils subtly shifting colors, a nervous dance of blues and soft greens that most students didn't understand. The presentation topic was revolutionary: adaptive biological communication, systems across interstellar environments. Two Centaurian students in the back row, Doc and Rin, began whispering increasingly loud comments. Their translator devices converted their reptilian clicks into deliberately provocative human language. "Look at the light bug trying to do science," Doc muttered, loud enough for everyone to hear. The chamber's environmental controls created a neutral atmosphere that could accommodate multiple species. Advanced acoustic dampeners typically filtered out unnecessary noise, but today they seemed to amplify the growing tension. HFY's research was groundbreaking. He had discovered a unique communication method that could potentially revolutionize interstellar communication protocols. His neural mapping showed how biological entities could create communication bridges between species that previously seemed incompatible. Dr. Yoon, the lead researcher overseeing the presentations, watched carefully. Her experienced eyes noticed the subtle discrimination building in the room. As a veteran xenobiologist, she had seen countless brilliant minds crushed by social prejudice. Jae-sung sat in the middle row, watching the unfolding drama with increasing tension. He could see HFY's sensory tendrils beginning to curl inward, a clear sign of emotional distress that most students would completely miss. The holographic display began to glitch. Complex data patterns started breaking apart, seemingly responding to HFY's emotional state. It was a remarkable demonstration of the very research he was presenting: biological communication systems that could interact with technological interfaces. "Your data is impossible," shouted Rin, one of the Centaurian students. "No biological system can create such complex communication patterns." The challenge was deliberate, designed to humiliate HFY in front of the entire class. Robotic assessment. Drones hovered silently, their quantum processors analyzing every moment of the presentation. The Academy's AI system, Nova, seemed particularly interested in HFY's unique data presentation. Suddenly, Jae-sung stood up. The entire chamber went silent. His movement was unexpected, breaking the unspoken rules of academic presentations. "The data is not just possible," he announced. "It's revolutionary." What followed was a masterful defense that surprised everyone. Jae-sung began breaking down HFY's research, demonstrating an understanding that went far beyond typical student comprehension. He translated HFY's complex neural communication, showing how the aliens' research could potentially solve decades-old communication challenges. The holographic displays came alive. Complex molecular structures danced, showing intricate communication pathways that nobody had previously recognized. HFY's tendrils began to shift into brilliant patterns of silver and gold, a color combination that signified profound scientific validation. Dr. Yoon couldn't hide her smile. This was why she became a xenobiologist, to witness moments of true scientific breakthrough that transcended species limitations. The Centaurian students looked shocked. Their attempt to discredit HFY had backfired spectacularly. Jae-sung had not just defended the research, he had elevated it to a level of recognition that few could have anticipated. Nova's quantum processors began rapidly recalculating. The AI's response suggested that HFY's research could open entirely new fields of interstellar communication study. Potential applications ranged from deep space exploration to complex diplomatic translations. As the presentation concluded, something remarkable happened. The robotic assessment drones began a synchronized display, their lights pulsing in a pattern that matched HFY's neural communication. It was as if the machines were acknowledging a new form of intelligence. Hyok's tendrils now glowed with a confident silver, a color of triumph that few in the chamber could interpret. But Jae-sung understood. This was more than a scientific presentation. This was a moment of profound connection. The chamber erupted in a mix of confused murmurs and genuine appreciation. Scientific boundaries had been challenged, and a new understanding was emerging. End of Part 3. The advanced research corridor of Horizon 9 Academy buzzed with an electric energy of transformation. Jae-sung and Hyok walked together, their unlikely friendship becoming a living demonstration of interspecies communication that no academic program could have predicted. Advanced holographic interfaces lined the walls, displaying real-time data about ongoing research projects. Robotic assistants moved silently, their quantum processors attempting to decode the unique communication pattern between the human and alien students. Jae-sung discovered that Hyok's neural tendrils could process information at speeds that made traditional computer systems look primitive. During their first collaborative research session, he watched in amazement as Hyok's sensory appendages created complex three-dimensional data models faster than any known technological interface. The Academy's central research chamber became their primary workspace. Here, the limitations of traditional communication dissolved. Jae-sung learned to interpret the subtle color shifts in Hyok's skin, each hue a complex emotional and intellectual language that went beyond words. Dr. Yoon assigned them a joint research project exploring adaptive communication systems. What started as an academic exercise became something far more profound. Hyok's biological communication methods, combined with Jae-sung's human intuition, created breakthrough research that caught the entire scientific community's attention. Robotic. Translation devices struggled to interpret their interactions. When traditional language failed, they developed a unique hybrid communication system. Jae-sung would use subtle hand movements, while Hyok responded with intricate light patterns and neural signals. The Academy's massive observation deck became their favorite meeting place. Surrounded by the infinite darkness of space, their differences seemed insignificant. Distant star systems and passing exploration vessels served as a backdrop to their growing understanding. Nova, the Academy's advanced AI system, began tracking their interactions with unprecedented interest. The quantum processors detected something extraordinary, a communication method that defied existing scientific understanding. Other students started noticing the change. Where Hyok was once isolated, he now moved through the Academy with a newfound confidence. Jae-sung had become more than a friend. He was a cultural translator, helping others understand the complex intelligence of the Luminara species. Their research revealed something remarkable. Hyok's species had developed a communication system that could potentially solve long-standing challenges in deep space exploration. Each neural tendril could process multiple streams of information simultaneously, creating a living, breathing communication network. During a critical simulation exercise, Hyok demonstrated how his biological systems could interface directly with advanced spacecraft navigation systems. Where human pilots required complex computer interfaces, he could communicate with machines through pure neural signals. Jae-sung's background in xenobiology proved crucial. His parents' research had always emphasized understanding over categorization. He saw Hyok not as a subject of study, but as a complex, intelligent being with unique capabilities. The Academy's environmental chambers became their experimental playground. They tested communication protocols that pushed the boundaries of existing scientific understanding. Robotic assessment drones watched in fascination, their quantum processors struggling to categorize this new form of interaction. During a critical presentation to senior researchers, Hyok's tendrils created a living holographic display that left the entire scientific panel speechless. Complex molecular structures danced in mid-air, telling a story of communication that transcended species limitations. Dr. Yoon recognized the potential immediately. This was more than a research project. This was a potential revolution in interstellar communication. The barriers between species were breaking down. replaced by a deeper understanding of intelligent communication. The Academy's massive data archives began updating in real time. Their research suggested new approaches to everything from diplomatic communication to deep space exploration. Potential applications ranged from advanced medical diagnostics to complex interstellar navigation systems. As weeks turned into months, Jae-sung and Hyuk became a living demonstration of what true understanding could achieve. Their friendship challenged everything the Academy thought it knew about interspecies communication. The infinite darkness of space seemed to watch approvingly, a silent witness to a connection that defied all existing scientific understanding. End of Part 4. The graduation ceremony of Horizon 9 Academy transformed into something far more significant than a simple academic celebration. 5 years of groundbreaking research had positioned Jae-sung and Hyuk as revolutionary figures in interstellar communication. Massive holographic displays illuminated the ceremony hall, showcasing their collaborative achievements. Delegates from multiple planetary systems watched in awe as two students had essentially rewritten the rules of cross-species communication. Hyuk's neural tendrils now glowed with a confidence that was unimaginable during his first days at the Academy. Where once he was isolated and misunderstood, he now represented a breakthrough in understanding alien intelligence. His biological communication system had become a model for future interstellar diplomatic protocols. Dr. Yoon stepped forward, her voice carrying the weight of scientific significance. "Today we witness more than a graduation," she announced. "We are seeing the birth of a new understanding between intelligent species." The Academy's quantum AI, NOVA, generated a comprehensive, holographic presentation detailing their research. Complex data streams showed how Jae-sung and Hyuk had created a communication bridge that could potentially revolutionize deep space exploration and diplomatic interactions. Robotic assessment drones hovered overhead, their advanced sensors capturing every moment of this historic occasion. The machines seemed to recognize the significance of what was happening, a true merging of biological and technological intelligence. Representatives from the Galactic Communication Council watched intently. Their traditional translation systems had been rendered obsolete by the research presented by Jae-sung and Hyuk. What once required complex technological interfaces could now be achieved through a more intuitive biological approach. Jae-sung's family sat in the front row, their faces a mixture of pride and amazement. They had always believed in the power of understanding, but never imagined their son would become a living example of cross-species communication. The ceremony hall was a marvel of interstellar engineering. Gravitational systems allowed representatives from different planetary environments to coexist comfortably. Atmospheric modulators ensured each species could breathe and interact without technological assistance. Hyuk's research revealed that communication was more than language. It was a complex dance of emotional and intellectual exchange. His neural tendrils could now communicate with advanced technological systems in ways no one had previously imagined. A surprise announcement came from the Galactic Exploration Commission. They offered both Jae-sung and Hyuk positions on a groundbreaking deep space research vessel. Their unique communication method had made them the most sought-after researchers in the known universe. The holographic displays began to shift, showing potential exploration routes that had previously been considered impossible. Hyuk's ability to interface directly with navigation systems opened up entire sectors of unexplored space. Robotic translation devices around the hall began to malfunction, unable to process the complex communication happening between Jae-sung and Hyuk. Their method of interaction had become something entirely new, a living, breathing communication system that defied traditional understanding. Dr. Yoon approached the podium, her voice filled with emotion. "What we witness today is more than academic achievement," she declared. "This is a moment that will be remembered in the history of interstellar exploration." The Academy's massive observation windows showed the infinite darkness of space, a silent witness to this remarkable transformation. Distant star systems seemed to pulse in recognition of this breakthrough. Hyuk's tendrils now displayed a complex pattern of silver and gold, colors that represented scientific triumph and personal growth. Where once he was isolated, he now stood as a beacon of hope for misunderstood intelligent beings across the galaxy. Jae-sung received multiple research grants, but his most significant achievement was the friendship that had transformed both of their lives. They had proven that understanding was the most powerful form of communication. The Galactic Communication Council presented them with a special commendation. Their research would become the foundation for future interspecies diplomatic protocols, potentially preventing conflicts before they could begin. As the ceremony concluded, the entire hall erupted in a display of lights and sounds, a celebration that transcended species, language, and traditional communication barriers. Jae-sung and Hyuk stood together, a living demonstration of what true understanding could achieve. The universe watched, silent and infinite, as two beings from different worlds showed that connection was the most powerful force in existence. End of Part 5.